Up now at the ground for the Commonwealth Bank Cup between St Gregory's College Campbelltown and St Dominic's of Penrith.
Leichhardt Oval it is, the last of the third round fixtures, and whenever St Gregory's, who've won the Commonwealth Bank Cup twice, appear, there's always plenty of fresh interest, particularly when they play Penrith. So it's St Gregory's in sky blue and maroon stripes running left to right of your screen and about to get us underway in their very natty outfit. And likewise could be said of St Dominic's Penrith. And they're in the white jumpers with the wide blue V. It'll be a testing start, particularly this wind whistling through Leichhardt, and I feel a match that could bubble with plenty of tries. So a scrum. Just 10 metres out from St Dominic's goal line, and their young halfback Moynihan to feed. And Dom's ball. Moynihan, and blocked up very smartly by 5'8" Damien Mullins. Boring ahead is Greg Mackay, one of the second rowers for St Dominic's. Trying the short side, but running right into the tackle of Alf Davis was the young halfback Moynihan. And that was Craig Pryor trying to hoist it. And the wind is pretty powerful here, Steve.
Yeah, with that wind behind me, I'd be more intent trying to just get yards rather than try for the line.
Steve Rogers, our co-commentator tonight, and our referee is Martin Weeks, whom you'll realise has had plenty of first-grade experience. St Dominic's only 4 survivors from last year's fine side, which was tipped to win the cup, but they were outed by Holy Cross reasonably early, and they subsequently won the title. So they've lost a sizable lot, but rebuilding they've done, and the end result is that they've had plenty to offer their followers. As have Gregory's, and they come up with it through David Green, their lock forward. One to keep your eye on. Dummy half, Devery and Paul Barter doing a bit of slogging work and turning it over through Mark Arnold for St Dominic's.
Some solid defence, John.
Yes, Steve, but we always got that in this type of football, as you're well aware. Good purposeful defence. And lays it back for Pryor. Another fellow, number 11, who planted that one downfield into the arms of Ken Gittins. And, oh dear, we've turned it over again, or he's lost it. Ken Gittins. He's from Papua New Guinea, and he's a basketballer, and not only that, but a sprinter. He's only 16, and they tell me he has a very big athletic future lying ahead of him. He loves running and flying high for the ball. So he might be well tested tonight. Feed across, and that's against Mark Arnold, St Dominic's, and St Gregory's with the ball. 2 minutes gone, score 0-0. Gregory's without their centre Wayne Alpin, who has a broken leg, and Fort 40, their lock forward, who did his crucial ligament. They're both in plaster, but both here, and Gregory's about to put in a very formidable performance for them, as Angus MacLeod from their under-16 champion MCS side last year, and catching 4 of them up within the 5. So another penalty is Gregory's way, and in the hands of David Green, looking for the right touch after 3 minutes of play. Score 0-0. And he pinpoints it well, much to the delight of the onlookers in front of us. And again, it's MacLeod. Straight away to Byrne. Coming through on it is Vincent Duff, and well handled by Craig Pryor. Decoy running, Davis, beautifully, Botoko, originally a centre but playing second row tonight. Handling again is Devery, through Byrne with Mullins, slipping it nicely from Van Tempest to Thorpe, and back with Van Tempest. Devery again feeding and operating on that short side. Davis very talented player. This is his 3rd year in the first 13, Alf Davis. Feeding again, Van Toko. And again, resolute defence, and this time coming up from John Parra. You have a fairly big interest up there at Cronulla, Steve, in high school football. Young Perry Haddock, I think, came from Erina High. And David Mullins, whom I think can go anywhere as a centre. And I know he's under 18 years of age, and he was with Chatham High last year.
Yes, that's right. There's certainly an abundance of talent in the school football.
Have you the same opinion as I of David Burns?
Yes, I saw him play in the New City Country game. I was very impressed with him, and I didn't even realise that it was the chap that was on our books when I was watching him.
Yeah, an enormous game up there.
Yeah, he did.
All right, that's Wennick playing it for St Dom's. And that's Parra. Laying it back again for Pryor. They're mailing it down this time. Giddens. There's a nice old gust behind that one, Steve.
You can see the strength of the wind after that.
So we'll resume on the quarter.
Yeah, the tactics, though, play them in their half.
We can expect the same traditional football from Greg's tonight, and that's generating that open style again. Their forwards doing their thing, and the ball movers feeding their eager young supports. And they stand yards deeper in attack than most, and some beautiful passes. Davis going ahead for St Gregory's, and upended by Greg Mackay, and to assist him, Mark Arnold. Gregory's grafting away from their quarter onto it, and the checker there was Paul Woodbury. This is Devery, and his opposite, Mark Arnold, silences him just his own side of halfway. Byrne chopping out Mullins, getting it to Gittins, and there's a crowd of players. Good defence coming from Michael Ashley and Paul Woodbury. And it's Woodbury for Doms, as Michael Ashley went for a short burst. Wennick. Good ground for St Doms. And operating on the right comes Pryor. He gives him some hammer, this fella. Now again with Moynihan. And it's Arnold within the quarter, and last one coming up on Doms on the right. There's the high ball. It's a sore and it's a nasty one. That was the right testing though, Steve.
Yeah, certainly the tactics. If it was a little short, the kick, if it had been in the in goal, it would have been at least you've got a 50-50 result then, or a 50-50 chance.
Gittins would have been the claim of the night thus far. So referee Martin Weeks recalls play. We have 8 minutes gone. It's still 0-0. And Byrne to feed. Doms have won it all. There's a passage. Chopped off. Oh, that was Moynihan with a short pace burst. And almost in front of the goal mouth, and going forward is Brian Burke, their vice-captain. Arnold says, let me have it quickly. Decoy stuff, and he goes himself. And the penalty to St Gregory's.
Cost a mistake in that situation.
So relief for the Sky Blue and Maroons. And they needed it because St Dominic's were high and hitting hard and showing just what a formidable obstacle they can be. As I said at the outset, growing in stature in their rugby league fame each year. A fellow called Brother O'Halloran was telling me about 3 years ago, and he said 81, 82 will be our year, and he could be right. So Gregory's. And that's Alf Davis. Back to Byrne, working it on that short left. And Green making good ground, midway between the quarter and halfway. In his own territory, Craig Pryor, the tackler. Now Mullins, getting it out to Van Tempest. But strong work there coming from Paul Woodbury, and that was a thudder. Vincent Duff, midway between his quarter and halfway. Laying it back for Green. And just a bit too much put. So we'll have a scrum midway between the quarter and halfway. Now, I said to keep your eyes on number 8, David. He's New South Wales Catholic schoolboys side, and he is fullback in Western Suburbs reserve grade. I think you've seen him play, Steve.
Yes, I have, yeah. He's got a lot of talent.
A very versatile player too. So Wests are very fortunate there because he can play lock, centre and fullback. I know they have him on a scholarship over there, and he's...
That's Dominic's first penalty of the night, and the scrums have gone to St Dominic's 4-0 at this stage.
Yes, well, Peter Mulholland, brother Silverius, will have to work on that at half-time if that ratio keeps up. So it's in the hands of Mark Arnold. And again, diversion. Pryor hitting the line. Ripping with some zip that time. Back it comes to Bassett. On now to Ashley. And Gregory's called on to harass them with defensive work because they're spread left and right. And he's a willing worker, John Parra. Driving role when he's running. And he's a top checker as well. That's Moynihan. Unable to free it because Duff was there and so too was Byrne. And they're 8 metres out. Smart work, and he's there. Yes. Oh boy, that's an early birthday for young Moynihan. It's early damage for St Gregory's, but what a present for St Dom's. They lead 3-0.
Very quick to try that one.
Well, there it is again for you. Simple, and down it goes. So the twice winners of the Commonwealth Bank Cup are trailing 3 points to 0. And here's the follow-up. And he's powered it well and true. The extra 2 points. So St Dominic's lead St Gregory's by 5 points to 0. 16.5 minutes gone, and they trail 5-0. And really their first chance since the opening minute of applying pressure on Penrith. As you can hear the chanting of Gregory. Chris Foy, close to the line, 2 metres out. Tackler there, Brian Burke. Decoy stuff again, Alfie Davis coming through in kamikaze style. He's 1 metre short. Devery again. Byrne, chop out by Tempest. Gee whiz, he had Gittins there on the right. And they're keeping it on the right. Byrne, sandwiched by Burke and Moynihan. And they're 10 metres out. Going is David Green himself there. Yes, beautiful try. And Gregory's have climbed back with a great try, fashioned by David Green. What a finish, what a score. It's 5-3.
Yes, it was, again, a piece of quick thinking. Just caught them napping.
Here it is again. And it was as simple as that, with sheer power and determination from the Western Suburbs reserve grade fullback and lock forward for St Gregory's tonight. He's a player of considerable class, I think. And he certainly put Gregory's on the board. And he's about to attempt to convert his own try. They had a forfeit from Port Hacking High to get here, St Gregory's, and then they let loose some dazzling tries in a 34-0 victory over Woolooware High. So worthy winners they were, and considering their dominance of cup football, they must be regarded as a big threat tonight. So here's Green. He has it loaded up. Little off centre. And against this strong breeze. Oh, he snapped it up. That's a good 15-metre goal, and it's a good one. So it's 5-all, and a good game that we have on our hands. St Dominic's fans reckon that they have every chance to win before they come up in the box tonight. Their form up north is any indication of that. They've just wound up their first ever tour of Queensland during their school vacation, and they set a cracking pace up there. They had wins over, I think it was Aquinas College. I know they defeated St Edmunds Ipswich 21-3. So 8 days of triumph for Penrith, and they've stayed in touch with that sort of form. David Green again with a good run. Devery, and he's feeding Alfie Davis now. 30 metres, 35 metres out from his own goal line. Defensive work coming from Mark Arnold. Devery on the right, coming through at his top. Barter. Now with Byrne. Around him is Craig Pryor. And he's about 10 metres short of his own side of halfway. Davis relaying it out to Mullins. The 5'8" is, runs into a crowd of players of Ashley and Woodbury and Pryor. Green again. Whoops-a-daisy. David Green, again at home anywhere on the field. "21 minutes gone and the score 5-all. And Gregory's ball. Byrne picked off nicely by Woodbury. 30 metres out, Mullins. Close ball, Toko. 30 metres out from Penrith's goal line. Getting it out to Green. Handled well by Craig Mackay. In there to assist was Arnold. And Mullins, Vane Tempest. Oh, a beautiful feint. He's got support on the right. He's got on the inside. And he had Gittins up there. He had McLeod, and they were going nicely as they sweep it to the right. Farming it out, Gittins out to Foy. Backing him up was Barter. And oh, the agony of losing out on a try there. Here comes Davis, taking it up. Oh, through two, and good running by Alf Davis. Steve Rogers.
Yes, I thought there was a try on there for sure when the young centre cut through. He, as you said, ran away from his support there.
Alf Davis, number 9, doing some great work. 3rd year in the first. He's college captain this year, and he's in the New South Wales Catholic schoolboys side as well. And he's top class. Moynihan ready to feed.
It's a welcome penalty.
There's a Mountain Weeks very emphatic with his signal then. And the differential goes Penrith's way. What are the scrums and penalties now, Steve?
The scrums at the moment are favouring St Dominic's 4-2, and the penalties are favouring St Gregory's 4-3.
Right. Well, he pinpointed that nicely. And Stephen McDonald now relaying the ball on further to Arnold. So here we come again with the big forwards taking it up. First of all, there's Richard Bassett. And that was a good soaring run. Moynihan working, looking for the return ball. It's a stray, and there's a penalty, and he was offside. John Parham, and the penalty is with St Gregory's. David Green now bringing Gregory's up to St Dominic's quarter. It's 5-all, and a good game on our hands as Angus McLeod goes storming through. Byrne, Votoko, and well and truly enveloped by the defence, including Moynihan. Now with Mullins. There's the cutout, and Gittins. And he has a nice reception committee in a crowd of players of Woodbury and Ashley. Great in their defensive work here tonight. David Green trying to blend in some of that magic that he possesses. 10 metres out of Gregory's. Devery. And he went through there like a young beaver. Here they come. They've got 4 up on 2. Oh, yes, lovely teamwork, and over they go. And that's a try to Thorpe, and it's a Gregory's try. And it must come as some joy to Peter Mulholland and brother Silverius to register a try as quickly as that after their previous one. It's 8-5 favour of Gregory's.
Yes, Gregory's have had the better of it since David Green scored that try. They've confidence has gone sky high.
So it was just a matter of they had 3 up actually.
Yeah, they responded very quickly to that. Gregory's then they saw they were short and got plenty of runners there, got into position very quickly.
David Green. A lot expected from the boot of this fellow. And I tell you what, he hasn't let them down. Oh, yep. Steve Rogers, has that happened to you?
No, I've never hit the crossbar and the post at the one time.
Oh, isn't he excited? And this time it'll be a Mark Byrne feed. And he's trapped by his opposite, Craig Moynihan. Botoko now takes him on and gets over his quarter. Byrne with Alf Davis. And a cluster of players try and control him, but I tell you what, he's been the bulwark of this team for 3 seasons. And his work is phenomenal. Not only his attack, but you watch his cover. He just doesn't cover. He blankets the field. David Green. Plants that nicely down in the deep zone. And picked up by Stephen Masters. And the runners are there in the form of Prattley and Green. Or actually Gittins. Just inside their quarter. And Stephen Masters tries to give it to them. Now this is Arnold, and he's there for Penrith. Laidler again. Steve Rogers says, what a high stepper. Moynihan, a scissors with Woodbury and Bassett. David Irvine, that shrewd and widely respected sprint conditioner, has been putting in that work with the Gregory's boys again. The former Parramatta and Penrith flyer, as he did likewise with Melrose and Brett. I think about 10 in all this past summer with his sprint school, guaranteeing them yards on their speed. And he was spot on. And they're all on the verge of bigger things. Moynihan in back play receiving attention. Gregory's wheeling it. And picked up by Boak. Laidler. Hard man to contain, and they'll have to button the hatches with him. Close him down. Back through Woodbury. Arnold, out wide is Mackay, giving it now to Stephen Masters. And good cover from Gittins. And Mullins. Prattley is there to get at John Parra as he tried to scatter the defence. Moynihan, Ashley, now with Burke. He says, Laidler's had a few of his runs, let me try my luck. So back is Winnick. Ashley, oh, nicely, nice feint. And almost up to the quarter as we'll have another scrum, but they're combining sweetly, Stephen.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more variation in their play. They're, you know, they're certainly throwing it from one side to the other, but they're not making all that much forward progress.
Yes, well, Gregory's in the latter part of the first half were in full flow, and Penrith were more or less like at 6s and 7s, and they thought it a big mountain to climb from there with a 10-5 scoreline, which it still is, and against the standard of which St Gregory set. But they have come back and have taken control of this game. Their pack leading the way, and nice quick pace from their backs as we get some attention. And he's all right. And that's Michael Ashley, who's been supplying action in both attack and defence. The supporters of St Gregory starting up again, almost willing them to win a ball and score. But they're on the left with Winnick going for a nice run, but around him, Alf Davis or David Green.
St Dominic's really dominating the scrums now, 10-4.
Coming away with it, and Gregory's will have to show a solid and tough effort of defence work here. Here's Bassett, and they're doing just that. Arnold, and feeding out wide Ashley. Took it well. And Mullins, his opposite, brings him to earth. Now they switch it. Laidler, looking dangerous again, and it takes a crowd of them, 4. To contain him. Oh boy, is this fella having a game. Arnold himself. Yes, no. From him. Oh, Alfie Davis.
Good thinking. David Green pulled it out of his hands as he was going over the line.
David Green. So some tearaway stuff now coming from Duff to bring play a precious 15 metres out from their goal line. And this is Devery, drafting away to almost the quarter.
I think you'll see David Green use the kick here.
There it is, relayed back to Green. Pumping it down to Stephen McDonald. He decides, watch me, I'm a man for pace. But not for long in combination, Mullins and Davis. Good run from Winnick. Fine support in Ashley was there. And 6 more. Save Penrith. Plenty of possession. Swinging it out. And we'll bring it back for the knock-on.
I think St Dominic's are starting to rush a bit, John. They have to, you know, settle down and just get back into that good pattern of play that they were showing earlier on.
Yes. Their confidence looks as though it's been blooming, Stephen, and they look as though, as you say, there's an urgency to run, you know, roughshod over Greggs, but they're not going to do it with the defensive line, is it? And with the hurried work. Laidler.
It's 7-2 now, the scrums in this half.
Gittins had him trapped. Now Green has Ashley to ground, 30 metres out. Penrith putting on the pressure. Laidler getting it now to Bassett. Bassett to the quarter. Tucked away by Devery. And just inside the quarter. Arnold switching it to Parra. Desperate save there by Arnold Votoko. St Dominic's spearheading up now. That was Pryor. 10 metres out, keeping it across. Arnold goes for the little prod. And over the dead ball line, and the score is still 10-5 in favour of Gregory's. Not a point scored in this second half. Now Laidler. He lost it, and Bassett will have a scrum. Just almost on halfway, and 6 minutes to go we have in this match, with a scoreline 10-5 in favour of St Gregory's.
David Green switched back into lock.
They're not feeding correctly again, is what referee Martin Weeks says to Mark Byrne. So St Dominic's once more with the ball. Craig Pryor. 10 metres now inside Gregory's territory. Arnold sweeps it to Mackay. Prattley takes him front on. Now with Moynihan, the ball with Ashley. And doing some cleaning up was Winnick. Next week at Leichhardt, our first Sydney Group final. And we'll see the return of Holy Cross College Ryde and Caringbah High, who today defeated Eggs High 11-0, 13-0, 11-0.
Locals come good, John.
Good boy, Stephen. That's always put forward a good side, Caringbah High by crikey. Moynihan. And Vane Tempest grabs onto it very smartly for St Gregory's. Now Votoko makes an impact of some 10 metres. Para doing the defensive work. And that was Gittins, who hammered home a nice run of 10 metres. Well taken, Para. John Para. Now Winnick with a nice burst for the St Dom's boys. 10 metres again into St Gregory's territory. Arnold making good headway. 6 more, says referee Weeks. And they operate on the right with Arnold again taking it up, giving a nice ball here to Damien Laidler. He's up to the quarter and contained by Devery.
He's had a great game, the captain Mark Arnold for Penrith. He's dominated the scrums and done a lot in general play as well.
Yes, he's led by great example, Stephen. You're so right. Ashley with Laidler. Nice fend.
Oh, he's
Lost it again. Gregory's 4 minutes away from full time. They lead 10-5. David Green in there. Para again. Bringing down this time Devery. The assistance of Pryor. Davis, full ball. And only 10 metres short of his own side of halfway with Devery on a scoot up the thin side. So there it is. Well, both sides have been thirsty for points here, but have thrown that ball around, but the defence has just been so solid and tough and tight. And as Steve Rogers has pointed out, they've been trying to do so much with the ball and a few indiscriminate passes that they've certainly applied pressure on themselves, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I feel they've contributed slightly to their own downfall.
So Dom's Penrith again on Campbelltown's quarter. Arnold. Freda Moynihan. Woodbury was on the inside channel and he thought he was tracking him directly behind as they floated out to Burke. And Paul Vane Tempest ties him up. Laidler still manages to get it to Bassett. And Gregory's again coming up with possession. Duff. And now Prattley. And a good midfield thrust from the substitution. And in Prattley. Now they're really fanned here. David Green rolled the ground just outside his quarter. Davis.
Penrith struck it in to play the ball and St Gregory's got 6 more tackles.
Devery trying to make progress. So we only have a minute to go. And it looks like, here's the scrum situation.
Well, scrums, as I said, St Dominic's have dominated those to a score of 12-4. The penalties have evened up now, they're 8-all.
3 times the amount, eh?
They seem to have had all the ball in this second half, St Dominic's.
Yes, Gregory's much has to be said of how they've come up with this heavy resistance in their defence work. They haven't wilted. David Breen with a beautiful burst and finding Mullins there, backing him on the right. They're just inside the quarter and they're going to make hay whilst the sun shines as they fire it out. Vane Tempest weaving 10 metres out he is from the goal line, seconds away from full time. St Gregory's look as though they could be in the group final as young Barter gets it up, and there it is. The full-time hooter. Referee Martin Weeks signals end of play. A rousing third rounder. Both sides turned it on. They really went marauding tonight. Some sympathy for St Dom's Penrith. They had so much possession, but it was St Gregory's all up at the finish. And I can imagine some hero worship from their fans with the amount of defensive work that they did, because it really was superb having St Dominic's Penrith 3 times the amount of ball.